Maconi Entertainment's coverage of the Friday Night Lights series starts right now. We're here for the Windy City 300, going back to Chicagoland Speedway. My name is Kirk Mills. Alongside me today will be Ron Mons up here in the booth. And we got Howie Burrows, our producer, this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, this here is a great racetrack. We have been gone for far too long. This is a racetrack a lot of drivers love to be able to go put some tire and rubber on it. And you can take a look right now during this warm-up. They're already out there getting some practice in, a couple of these guys. But I tell you right now, Ron, you're looking at the cars on track. You see in qualifying a certain couple come up towards the top of the boards. Who are you looking at this season, this particular race, to end their way up on top?
I think we're probably expecting our usual cast of characters. You know, Adam Benefiel off the back of a win last time at Sonoma. We know that he's going to be quick throughout this race. Bryson Hixenball very good as well. There you can see Benefiel capturing the victory at Sonoma. There were some incidents, shall we say, involving Andrew Dyson, but he's had a great run over the past couple of weeks. Allows him to close up that margin. Look at the gap between our top two in the points here, Kirk. Only, 22 points as we head into the final stretch before the end of this regular season. It is really heating up between Hixenball and Benefiel.
Absolutely right. It absolutely is. And it's getting even better every single weekend for the rest of this little run all the way to the end of the season. What we're going to see is exactly what we love to see in racing, a battle to try and win a regular season's points championship. It's so cool to be able to do that, and it's such a big help once you finally get over to the chase at the end of the year. And a lot of good things happening here at Chicagoland this afternoon. And I can tell you right now, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the drivers who will be starting in tonight's race. Starting on the pole, Bryson Hixenball got the job done alongside Jonathan Delaney. Two cars are going to be tough to beat in the top row. Whoa, let's go back. That was a mistake on editing. There we go. We got it. Fixed that right back up. Let's try it again. Starting on the pole, Andrew Dyson. That's a little bit better. Remember, this is his first start ever in this car at this track, showing he's got speed, easy to try and go out there and win. Adam Benefiel will roll off P2 in the 83 machine. Both cars are going to be hard to beat today. Starting in P3 this afternoon will be Bryson Hixenball. There we go. Jonathan Delaney in P4. That is your top four starting positions, all with Team Consi backing. You got Jacob Simpson there in P5 in that 22 machine, with Joseph McWhorter starting in P6 for Williams Motorsports Development. Starting in P7, Aiden Amaro recently left that WMD group. However, he's still showing their colors. Right alongside Seth Foudy in the 77 machine, rolling off P8 this afternoon. Finally, in your top 10, it will be Eric Wineland in the Drafted Car 221, alongside Blake Kluot in that 14 machine.
Starting this race in 19th here tonight is going to be Mason Lowry behind the wheel of the number 42 car. He'll be next to Lucas Hoitzma in that red, white, and blue number 97. Lucky spot P13, we'll see Brandon Hastings in the 81. Start next to Michael Mesnard there in the 35 car. Right behind them on row number 8, we'll see Wesley Napier in the 95 next to Matthew Boston Wheeler there in the 10. With your 9th row here on the starting grid consisting of Casey Graves in a red, white, and blue scheme, and Dave Hoitzma, another red, white, and blue car. Gotta love the Maconi setup shop look there. That is absolutely awesome. Hunter Trull in the 71 will start this race in 19th, and rounding out your top 20 will be Matthew Blackley in the 43.
Starting 21st this afternoon will be Tanner Marty for Lunar Racing Performance there, of course. Got Michael Deach there in the 91, rolling off 22nd. After that, 23rd this afternoon is going to be the driver of the number 44. It's Cliff Mullins, pretty fast guy in that Ranger machine, alongside Jesse Winslow in the P1 Racing Canadian style race car there in 59. Now behind them, you got that 76 American 250 Bill Hull going out there 25th. 26th will be Noah Woods in that 56 machine. Starting 27th will be Daniel Llewellyn in the 23 alongside Charles Eaton. Starting in 29th this afternoon will be the driver of Charles Velasquez Jr. in the 18 Coca-Cola machine alongside Bryce Reiner in the 5 P30. 31st will be Daniel Wiles alongside Payson Lindsay right there P32. 33 will be William Owens in the 30 car alongside Jarek Gradzicki in the 34th starting position. 35th will be Tim Phillips in that 27 machine alongside Brandon Hunsinger, the 36th place spot. And finally, our final starter this afternoon will be Cody Bird in the 15, starting off 37th. 37 cars qualified for today's race. And what I can tell you, we had no penalties last week, so that means that we should not see any penalties being served at the beginning of this particular race. Cars are rolling off at the start-finish line, and we have approximately, it depends, possibly 2 laps to go to the green. We're going to find out, might be a little sooner. But who's your picks to win here this afternoon? Ron?
You know, I'm going to say that Adam Benefiel is my pick to win. He has been incredibly fast throughout this season, but in terms of racking up the W's, we haven't really seen it. I think he's peaking at the right time as we head our way off into the summer stretch, again, looking to reel in Bryson Ixball farther up the road. That chance at a regular season championship is just shiny enough of a dangling carrot in front of Adam Benefiel's face, whereby you know he's going to try and do anything in the book to try and grab it.
Yep, trying to race the lap 45 and lap 90 for the stage points. They're going to try and pick up as much of them as they can, and it's going to be fun to watch them, as it looks like right now they are going to be going to green this time, at least according to what I'm seeing on the scoring pylon. I do not see them adding a lap, so that means that we will be most likely going green this particular time. All right, here we go. Coming out of turn number 4 to get things started here from Chicagoland. I have been waiting a couple weeks to be able to do this. Reach down, pull them belts tight one more time through that restart zone. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. Adam Benefiel pulls away to an early lead, getting around the 41 as Delaney tries to fight for second. Up the hill he goes, and it looks like lap number 1's going to go the way of Adam Benefiel across the line, but Delaney's trying to charge back for P2, trying to battle for the lead.
Yeah, Delaney, who ended last race at Sonoma in second, now looking for the top spot and gets it done as he heads his way through turn number 1 and 2. Delaney wasting no time at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Going from the back from third place starting position, fourth place starting position, actually, all the way to the lead in just 1 lap, 2 laps, actually. That's amazing. Well done for the 6-car and Delaney on the gas early as they get single filed out for the majority of the top 10, all the way back to Blake Kluwak and Eric Wineland back here battling for the top 10.
Yeah, everybody else still fanned down their own little side-by-side battle. Drivers looking to get some moves done.
Wrecking out in turn 1 and 2. It looks like 1 car is around. It is the 23 of Daniel Llewellyn on your screen there. What happened back here in the back of the field? Brandon Hunsinger also involved. Blown motor. He is done for the day in the 92. Just before it even started. Let's take a look and see how it happened.
That 23 car was already looking sour as he headed his way off through turn number 3 and 4. They fan out to 3 wide racing down in there, and Llewellyn just gets turned, and the 92, unfortunately, nowhere that Hunsinger could have gone.
Yeah, absolutely sad for that 92. He did nothing wrong there. He was just running his line the entire time, and he went up to the top side trying to make a pass. The 75 was trying to give him plenty of room. I think the 75 didn't realize he was going to be in that position. He tried to give too much room. 23 didn't realize it, came up, made contact. It was just a racing incident between the 23 and the 75. But that will bring out our first yellow of the day here on lap number 4 from Chicagoland. And you know what? Why don't we go ahead and see if we can't bring up that 6 machine up here to come and chat with us for a quick moment. If I see him down here in the chats, we'll bring him up. I haven't seen him quite yet, so there's a chance I can't bring him up. So because of that, we might have to go to somebody else. If you could take a look at the biggest movers, I think what we want to do is bring up somebody who went up the most spots in a short period of time. It looks like Bryce Reiner in the 5 car. Sure, let's see if we can't talk to him. He started towards the back of the field. Went up 5 spots, up to P25 now for him. He's doing pretty dang good. Jared Grodzicki also doing the same thing. Started 31st. Sorry, let me make sure we get that right for the 31. Started P34 up to P28. So he's moved up as well. Back of the field, really starting to move forward. Tim Phillips is the same as some cars come down pit road. Now, when we get this restart, we're going to see another one of those chaotic things that we saw. Andrew Dyson, who started on the pole here, Ron, did not get going very fast compared to Delaney or Benefiel.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure whether that car was powered with milk or what the deal was, but a very sluggish start for a driver who's been very quick over the past couple of weeks because we've been on the road courses. Now, he's gotten his sea legs underneath him when it comes to these ovals, but at the moment for that 41 car, just trying to find the groove. As you said a bit earlier on this broadcast, Kirk, he has never run on this track in this car, so this is definitely a big venture off into the unknown for him.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's actually pretty dang good for him right there. That 41 showing that he's had the experience to go quick, but now he's trying to learn from two of the guys that have been here multiple times that love this track, Delaney and Benefiel. They love this place. So they're going to have themselves, I guess that they like getting close to each other, like magnets, those two, leaning on that 6 car. No one else is that close to each other. Just giving y'all a bit of reference there. 83 is just having some fun, I think.
Yeah, no, it would not be Adam Benefiel in this championship if he wasn't just pulling off some sort of chicanery under yellow.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah, he has ways of making getting in folks' heads too. Because racing's a lot of it's mental too. You got to get in the mindset of knowing that you're better than everybody else. I mean, it's a really frustrating thing for most people to be able to do. But these guys up front, they know that that's what they got to have in order to win these races. You got to have cars that are all on point when you take the green flag. It's hard to adjust them after the green flag. We heard that from a few drivers. Looks like we're going to take this thing back underway. Pace car down pit road. And we're going to get a restart again. Jump for the 6 car. He's underway. He's going ahead. And Benefiel has that 41 of Dyson tucked up right underneath his back bumper going into turn 1.
Yeah, but a good start there for Delaney. Got punch out to the race lead once more. Holds on to it as side by side and 3 wide racing there farther behind. Everybody looking to get the moves done on early here in these runs before the tires start to fall off a cliff.
Oh, yeah, tires going to be a big deal today. You got to take care of them. That's the best way to be able to do well today. Long run speed is going to be helpful. You can see right there, 21 of Weiland, the 97. Hoytsma dive down to the bottom. A little bit of contact there with Napier. They keep it going straight, 3 wide. Look at all the lanes they're choosing to run right here.
Yeah, some experimental stuff going on right now. It feels like a prog rock album, this racetrack. Everybody's trying something different. Not sure if it's working for some, but it is working for others as Joseph McWhorter able to get a move put on Andrew Dyson there. He's now jumped up to 4th.
Oh boy, we got the train starting to form, folks. This is normally what happens early in the run. And to see everybody try and take the tire save line in single file, you really don't want to get out of line unless you have a good position to make a pass, just like Eric Wineland does right now. He made a pass down to the inside of Kluart and now trying to get to the inside of Seth Foudy. But right now he got stalled out in the straightaway, and he's trying to carry the momentum here. He might get 2 for 1 in just 1 lap here towards the tail of the field. Top 10, rather.
Yeah, trying to clip the coupon and get the moves done early here as we continue to see these top 2 of Benefiel and Delaney start to chase each other down. Let's take a look at some of the action there farther behind. This is Tanner Marty.
Oh, Tim Phillips did not see that coming. He had to back out of it to avoid contact, but then, he wasn't clear. 29 definitely not clear. Came up in front of Charles Velasquez, and Charles was able to get by. Luckily, no accident on the screen. Battle for 5th place is starting to heat up. 41 of Dyson going the wrong way. Jacob Simpson trying to make a move down to the inside.
And so keep an eye on these two as things start to get dicey in this little battle. Simpson, who I've said multiple times throughout the season, very strong racer. He's shown some speed, but consistency has not been his friend so far here in 2026. Looking to try and buck that trend at the tail end of this regular season. But Aiden Amaro not allowing either of these drivers to breathe freely.
You know, I'm looking at this 71 car. He's the first car I've seen all day trying to make that very top line work in turns 3 and 4. He might be doing it again here. 3 wide going into turn 1 up here. You can see that 21 there. You also see the side-by-side battle right here on your screen with Aiden Amaro, 41 on the top. Trying to get that extra spot, moving up to P6, it looks like. 41 falling back even further. And it looks like 41 starting on the pole just is not going the right way early on. Might be saving some tire. Everybody else behind him, though, is looking to get by quickly. Huge pack right here. Any mistake can really cause a big problem.
Let's look at this Hornet's Nest as they come across a stripe. It's a 6-pack of O'Reilly cars heading down into turn number 1 and 2. Just got to see who's going to be the first one to crack open a gold one. Riding on board with Andrew Dyson. Aiden Amaro got a move put on him as side-by-side Hoytsma and Blake Kluot still squabbling. Right behind them is Hunter Troll and Eric Wineland. Very competitive start to this race as they darn near fan out to 4 wide heading off through 3 and 4.
Multiple positions up for grabs right here. One little dabble, and then you lose at least 6 or 7 spots out there on a racetrack. And I'm looking at one car right now, that 32. Remember, his story throughout the week, that 32 car got dumped by his previous team. He was not meeting some sort of requirement for the team, so they parted ways, and now that 32 will be doing something else going forward, as it looks like the battle for the lead has just heated up, and it's just switched. Delaney not able to hang on, and Benefield takes over the lead here on lap number 14. 6 car trying to fight back. You can see just a handful of laps ago that 6 car there on the top. 83 was able to make the pass, but right now live, oh, they are getting on each other as soon as we get. I think it's best to. 6 car got loose, big time loose. Up the hill, that let the 83 go, but now 6 trying to gain back that spot. He's all over the back bumper, that 83, trying to make that pass work, and these two have really pulled away from the rest of the field.
Oh, they have absolutely checked out, even in their little battling in that big Code Brown moment for Jonathan Delaney last time around. He is still looking for a little something, trying to take this race lead back from Benefield. I think these two are going to be the drivers to beat all throughout the night, based off the pace that we have seen so far. So very early on into this first stage, let alone the rest of this race. But one thing is for certain, they have had the number on the field so far, currently 8 to 9 tenths clear of Joseph McWhorter there in third, as Delaney looking for it around the outside through 3 and 4. Not able to get it done, but you know he's going to look for it very soon.
Yeah, you're right. He's been looking to the top side, trying to get the high side momentum pass. It just hasn't been working for him so far this afternoon. In terms of this little, I guess, in-season tournament that he's got, he's kind of on a little bye week for that 6 car. He doesn't need to worry about beating anybody. The other cars that were supposed to race him didn't show up last week, so he got a free bye week, as that 83 is kind of in a different situation, to say the least, for this particular tournament. If he's right now going up against Michael Mesnard, when right now that just means if you finish the race, you might do okay there, Adam. So we'll see how it goes. Top side, that 6 car still trying to carry momentum. He gets a big old run, but when he gets to the back bumper, he tries to give him a shot. Oh, he does that time. He moved him up the hill. Now 6 is going to try and go to the bottom. Nope. Not able to get underneath him, but he tried for sure.
Yeah, again, the experimentation going on here early at Chicago. We talked about the 41 of Andrew Dyson being new to this track. This isn't one that gets used by iRacing a lot, for the simple sake that's not used by real-life racing a lot. It's been off the calendar for many, many moons, left abandoned for a while. But now these drivers trying to learn the ropes, figure out what works and what doesn't, how you got to move done around here, what you should probably try and avoid. There's a lot of stuff you got to consider.
Side by side for the lead now. You can see the 6 on the bottom, 83 on the top. It was not on purpose, I'll tell you that. He had a little bit of a bobble there. So that was an accidental contact, it looks like. But that 6 car, he was side by side, not able to make the pass work. He's going to have to fall back in line and try again. And this is just really great racing from our top 2. Delaney and Benefield, they are some, like, the way I like to put it is that they're yin and yang when it comes to interviews. Adam Benefield's so, like, aggressive. He's so on it. He has so much energy. But Delaney, Oh boy, sometimes I need need an energy drink to get through it. I mean, I'll tell you that much. The energy levels is very different, but the talent level is very much at the top of the level for this particular run.
Yeah, certainly top-tier drivers in their own right. Delaney, usual runner-over in the full-length Cup Challenge. Same could be said about Benefield, but Benefield also looking for the crown here on Friday Night Lights. Delaney, I think this is probably his third or fourth start so far here in 2026 as he gets up into the wall, heading his way off through turn number 1 and 2.
Big time.
Was trying to get into the head of Adam Benefield, but I think he got into his own head there.
Yeah, I tell you what, he went way too high. And whenever you hit the wall here, it's like a magnet. You cannot get out of it. He goes up to the top, he slides the right rear and just gets into the wall, can't get out of it. He has to lift so he can break the magnetism to the wall there. I don't know why that is. I think iRacing had a problem with that a lot more often a handful of months ago with multiple tracks. I think mostly with the ARCA car, when the ARCA car first came out, that became a big problem. But a lot of the tracks have kind of resolved that. When you hit the wall, you kind of bounce off of it like it is now unless you really hit it. But no, that's unfortunate for the 6. Now the 83 is able to scoot out to a comfortable 0.8 of a second lead over the rest of the field and another 0.8 of a second back to third place. So kind of a long way to go, but Joseph McWhorter with his new partnership, he's the kind of the new driver when it comes to Williams Motorsports development in that 73 running P3 right now. He's essentially, ever since the 32 left, that 73's kind of been there. So, don't know what the deal is between those two, but 32 really wants to try and make a good showing today to say if they need to be there or not. Show that he's got the speed. Side by side for third, though, between Jacob Simpson and Joseph McWhorter. Remember these two, what we were just talking about? They would want to go out there and have a fun race today. And I think that they are leading that giant pack. They have the ability to have some fun this afternoon for sure.
Yeah, these drivers looking for a good time and looking to get a good result out of it as well. Now, so far, already 25 laps into this 200-lapper here at Chicagoland. I think these drivers and us as broadcasters have learned a lot. I know this is the second time that I've gotten to cover a Chicagoland race. The only other time was in ARCA cars about 7 months ago. So, as I was talking about a bit earlier on, this track doesn't get a lot of love, doesn't get a lot of use. It is still a big venture off into the unknown. One of many that we've had so far here in the summer stretch after Coronado a few weeks ago.
I'd just say it's almost a cookie cutter version of like Kansas with just a little bit more bumps in some places, and it kind of gives me Kansas vibes as a driver. I went out there and drove a little bit in some time trials just to see how the car felt and handled, and got to tell you guys, I mean, this car on this track, I mean, it's kind of like a mixture of Kentucky and a mixture of like I said, Kansas. Put them together and you get Chicagoland. At least that's the best way I could describe it. It's fun to watch, and I got to say, oh man, that 90, a little bit further back, the 97 almost got really tight up into the 21. They're battling right now for P12, but on our screen you can see the single file that's really started to develop in this particular event. You don't get a chance to see him go single file very long. I'm guessing that we're just going to see this for the next handful of laps, and the tires start really causing some problems. We'll see what happens. P3's under fire again. Yeah,
it's Joseph McWhorter and Bryson Hixenball, 73-63, side by side in that fight for third. McWhorter going to get the nose out as he heads his way onto the back straightaway, but Hixenball may try and look forward once more. Yes, he does. Heading down the inside through 3 and 4. He's got some rear gunner help from Jacob Simpson, the 22. Not really sure what he wants to do in this little battle. Nearly gets into the side of the 73 as the 63 of Hixenball does get that move done. Now side by side for fourth. McWhorter looking to cling on.
I don't speak that language. Looking to cling on. Yeah, I don't speak that, but I know what you mean. Got to tell you here, that 63 really showing some speed again. Fast, able to recover, save his tires, and then able to make the pass on the 73 up towards the front. Now the battle is for the fourth place spot. Jacob Simpson still trying to get by that 73. Real loose there, had to save the car. He sure did. There's one driver I want to give a little brief shout out to for now. He's a little bit further back, but I've been meaning to mention this on the broadcast. I have learned today that Seth Foudy By the way, that 77 machine here in a second, I'd love to be able to tell you a little something interesting about that fellow here in the 77. He's right now side by side with Charles Velasquez a little bit further back here. And I got to tell you, this 77, he has 7 kids with his wife, who is also his spotter. So this man is truly, it doesn't matter if he wins or loses, he won. He wins. Good for him.
There are jokes to be made, but I'm not gonna say them. I already made enough jokes in the broadcast I was doing with Howie last night. I'm not sure.
Right. It's okay. Don't worry about it. All I know is he has such a great attitude. I mean, I feel like you could tell this guy the most insultest phrase you could, and no matter what, he'd still be happy because he has a lovely family at home. I just got to tell him congrats on that. That's awesome. That's so cool for him. Learned that today. I'm like, that just means he's living the best life. So happy for the guy. As we go back up towards the front, though, you can take a look here. The 32 of Aiden Amaro trying to hang on to a top 10 spot. Seems to be falling the wrong direction as Casey Graves moves up to the top 10, running P9 now. That 09 car, sorry, the 01 rather, has just been doing really well, keeping in a good position, carrying momentum, and now he's on the back bumper of Dyson, probably going to have a little bit of a run here.
And that he will. We've got some very intriguing cases up towards the front of the pack as the side-by-side battling continues throughout it. Brendan Hastings now punching his way up into the top 10, trying to get a move done there on Aiden Amaro as they're still side-by-side as they head their way through turn number 1 and 2 back onto the back straightaway right now. But you've got Amaro and Hastings. Drivers looking to break through. Eric Wineland now looking for a move on Hastings there in that battle for 11th. I've talked about him a lot throughout this season. Really had a good run in last season's playoffs, but so far he's really struggled to get out of first gear and up into second so far here in 2026. Looking for a good run here, but he finds himself in the middle of a dungeon at the moment.
Whoa, hey, hold on a second. Can we take a look here at the wide view, like from the sky cam real quick, going into this corner? If we have one, yeah, right here. This is going to be something that's worth taking a look at right here. Going through turns 1 and 2, this part right here, keep an eye. If we could zoom out a little bit, if we have the ability to zoom out the FOV just slightly. Right there, perfect. So you can see right here, look at the line everybody's running. They're not on the bottom anymore. All of them have migrated to the top 3 lanes, and there's some contact. He's in the wall. 21 and the 97 both crash as we look at it from afar up on the top side. Anyone else get involved? I don't see it. Just 2 cars up into the outside wall. Caution is out. It's Lucas Hoitzman and Eric Wineland around. Oh, they door banged each other. Slide job gone wrong. He was not clear on that slide job, and that put him up into the wall. I believe we heard somebody else yell at some point in the past. My goodness, in that exact corner, too.
And taking a look at another view of it, yeah, things got ugly heading into the turn. I think the 97 just decided to say, you know what? Yeah, that's a slide job attempted there, but that's pretty much, hey, Mom, can we have slide job? No, we have slide job at home. The slide job at home in question was that.
Hang on, can we look at, there's a car that threaded the needle. I'd love to get an angle on here. Who was it? It was the Jesse Winslow machine, I believe. I'm going to triple check that because it might not be Winslow. We're going to see it here again. Hang on. Yeah, Jesse Winslow, definitely. On board with Winslow is going to be the answer. Watch this right here. He saw the cars wrecked too late, and he's like, oh, please be a hole. Oh, he found the hole. Just inches away from getting slammed there. That was awesome.
Oh, he's going to have nightmares about that for the next 3 weeks.
Yep, he sure is, but he did a great job missing it. Same with that 56. Both cars did a real good job. But pancakes, it's time to go down pit road. Some folks already went down, some folks staying out. And it looks like right there, it's a lot of the cars that were involved towards the tail of the field. Not very much up front have chose to come down pit road. So this restart's going to be kind of wild. Spin the tires, problematic.
Yeah, so interesting seeing drivers already make that run to come down pit lane, just doing something a little bit different. trying to buck the trend of what we usually see here in these races. Again, it's a venture off into the unknown, this event here at Chicagoland, trying to see what you can and cannot get away with. And that's going to be very fascinating to see what those drivers can do in some newer tires. We're 37 laps into this, so this is pretty much the closest you probably can come to flipping the stage. This will be very, very intriguing to see what those drivers on new rubber can do farther behind.
Yeah, this is just going to be one of those restarts. They really want the points, and I think we might see a crash. I don't like the way this looks. You got the whole entire top 20 on 37-lap-old tires, about to have to do a restart, just as they were starting to maneuver up towards the outside wall to try and get more grip. A caution happens. I'd say these tires are shot. It's going to be difficult for them to be able to get grip on this restart. I would not be surprised if we see a driver spin the tires. They got to be aware of that. They are aware of that, but it doesn't mean you're always prepared for the moment you hit that gas and the car just doesn't go nowhere and the rear starts lighting up.
Well, whether the tires are shots or you have to replace the O with an I, we'll just have to see. But I think the main worry is going to be farther behind with those drivers on new tires trying to cut through. The 21, I will say, of Eric Wineland after that incident, you know, he's maybe going to be driving a little bit angry, a bit frustrated based off how the season has gone, a bit frustrated with that incident. He's going to look to try and cut through. Same could also be said about Lucas Hoitzma there in the number 97 machine. I think he would have been a firm contender for that regular season championship, but consistency has not really been his forte so far here in 2026. Let's see how the restart comes as the pace car comes down pit lane.
Out of turn number 4, pace car dives down to the pit lane, and the most aggressive left-hander I've ever seen in my life. Green flag, look at the tire spin. Some are sliding it, they're keeping it straight. Looks like that we will be okay. They got it. Well done. Way to hang on to it, folks. Really difficult to do that. Benefield pulls out to the early lead. 22 tries to slide up in front of the 6. Not going to be able to do it. Yes, he will. He moves up to P2. There goes Jacob Simpson trying to get an extra stage point.
Now the momentum from Delaney stalling like a hot air balloon that just got shot at, as now here comes the 73. Joseph McWhorter looking for third, side by side through turn number 4, and he's got Clearum on corner exit. Delaney, that small little chop across the nose, gonna drop him down big time. Now you gotta wonder what he's gonna do. Runs onto the apron down that start finish straightaway, trying to find any way in the book to make something work, but he doesn't have the same tool set that he had earlier on when he found himself in that battle with himself and Adam Benefield. The tires are old, very old at that, over 40 laps right now, so he can't really position that car the way he'd probably want.
Top 3 have single filed out, side by side for 4th. Looks like Delaney's going to get it. Hixenball falls in line. Now more and more cars start to get single file as we complete lap number 40. Going into lap 41. Remember, we're trying to get a lap 45 for stage today. He's definitely in a position to be able to do that this afternoon. Remember, 45, the end of the lap is what we're looking for. So, side by side there, you see Blake Kluot in the 14 trying to get down to the inside of Hunter Truel. Truel on the very top of the racetrack, trying to carry the momentum. Looks like he's able to do so, and he'll hang on to the spot.
As it's still dicey throughout the field, a little bit of extra tension and stress put on these drivers as we get towards the end of this first stage. It's getting froggy all throughout the field. Blake Kluot finds himself in a little battle right now. Kluot, very strong performances that he was able to put on at Coronado and Sonoma, looking to carry that momentum here onto the ovals. That number 14 machine finds himself in the middle of a squabble through turns number 3 and 4. Daniel Wiles right behind him. Hunter Truel right up in front. This is really froggy in this little battle, as now Bryce Reiner looking to stick his nose into that as well.
Three wide in the back of the field, but the battle for the lead starting to heat up. Here comes Jacob Simpson on the back bumper. He goes to the top of the racetrack. He made a look to the inside, thought better of it, went to the top instead. Now he's going to try and carry the momentum off the exit of turn number 4. He's got to run. He's going to be there before he gets to turn 1. He goes to the outside. 83 cuts him off, won't let it happen. Into turn 1 and 2. 2 laps to go here in the stage when they cross the stripe. It will be 1 to go. That 22 trying to close the gap. You can see that gap closing. It's definitely getting closer and closer. What is he going to be able to do to get by? He's got to have to give him a shot or find a better line or something. Coming to get one more lap to go on the stage. See it on your screen, 22. Trying to chase that back bumper of Adam Benefield. Jacob Simpson goes to the top in 1 and 2. Slides the rears, still sliding. 83 is going to come up the hill here. 22 is going to have a big old run down the back. Not enough to catch him, I think. I think that might be it. Going through 3 and 4 for the final time before the end of the stage. See, Delaney, though, he's gotten a run up on 3rd place. Not going to be enough. And Adam Benefield will come to the line, and he is going to win stage number 1 at Chicagoland, following up his win from last week with another stage win for that 83 machine. Stage results on your screen. See all the top 10 right there on your screen. And we'll, just a note to them lovely people. Hicksonball is not from Alaska. Just putting that out there. Sorry, Antarctica. He's not from Antarctica or Alaska. Might as well put that out there too.
Antarctica.
It's Antarctica. Well, stat stage 1, folks. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back, and we're going to be able to start stage number 2. Things are about to get started, and don't go away. We got ourselves one hell of a finish right around the bend.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to Maconi Entertainment here at Chicagoland for the Friday Night Lights Series Windy City 300. Up front, guess what? Remember the car that we saw wrecked earlier, Eric Wineland? He's back out up front on slightly older tires. If we look at the stints, you'll be able to see how long they've been out there. And I can tell you right now, Eric Wineland, he's going to be on slightly worse tires than the rest of the field. And we'll see how Clean Air is able to equalize the old tires, if it's able to at all. McWhorter moves up to P2, and Benefield falls back to P3. Here we go. Pace car dives down in the pit lane. And we're ready to start stage 2 here from Chicagoland through that restart zone. And great restart for the outside. Check up big time on the outside. The inside was really dang good. 83 gives a good shot to the back bumper to the 21. '83 tries to go to the outside line and try to take the lead back. He's trying to carry the momentum on Wineland. Little loose for the 83. Wineland's able to carry some speed on the bottom. They're side by side for the lead as they cross the stripe this time by. It is Benefield with the lead as the 73 falls in behind, trying to follow him through around the 21.
Over the quarter of the way into this race, and no quarters being given out there on the racetrack. Benefield still holding on to that top spot. His old friend and foe Joseph McWhorter directly behind, though. Look at them fan out off through 3 and 4. That is 6 cars covered by nothing, with a massive supporting cast of other drivers looking to pounce behind.
Huge run for the 63. He's going up to the outside there. Not able to make that work. And the 71 of Truel, what a job. Where did the 71 come from? Hunter Truel able to get up to P2 on the back bumper of the 83. He's going to have a run up to the outside line trying to go for the lead. Whoa, that was a good move right there. I like that. Under over, kind of crossed him up. He's going to get the momentum still.
21 of Eric Wineland found himself in trouble a little bit further behind, was running the wall as he headed his way through turn number 3 and 4. I think he tapped it a couple times. Thankfully, the iRacing glue not sticking him up there, but he was in real trouble and still finds himself in the midst of a hornet's nest farther behind. But the battling is still far from over throughout this pack. You got your top 2 of Hunter Truel and Adam Benefield still covered by about 0.2 of a second through 4. You've also got the likes of... You got Bryson Hicksaball, Joseph McWhorter. They're still battling right now. McWhorter, though, actually having to worry about Jacob Simpson a bit more.
Oh my gosh, look at that 3x3 back here in the back of the field. Seth Foudy's moved his way up to 11th. Trying to go for a top 10 spot. Oh, contact. He makes contact with a 71. Rather, 81. That's Brandon Hastings. Give him a little door slam right there. Heading out of turn number 2, but the 77's able to hang on to the car, and he has now moved up to P11 after that move. What a drive for the 77.
Yeah, Foudy having a good drive right now. That car is meshing very, very well. Side by side up for the lead, though. This Hunter Truel and Adam Benefield squabbling up for the top spot. Benefield been a strong contender all throughout the night, been constantly holding on to the race leader, at least one of the top 2 spots. He's got his old sparring partner of Jonathan Delaney right behind, but Hunter Truel on the outside sweeping his way through. He's going to take the race lead.
Very surprising. Hunter Truel, what a job, able to take the lead away. How long will it last? We know that 83 and the 6, they make near contact back there for P2. Side by side, Delaney tries to hold the bottom. 83 on the top, he's going to slide up. No contact, keeping it straight. Benefield hangs on to P2.
Yes, now Delaney, I think at the moment he is smelling blood in the water. He just saw Benefield lose out on that race lead to Hunter Truel, and now he's going to look to try and get it done very quickly. Here they go, heading into 1 and 2. It is still inches between those drivers. Delaney looking for a little bit of clean air on the nose of that number 6 machine.
Whoa.
Not able to make something working, though, on the high side.
Truel got up on the outside wall on the exit of 2. That's going to open the door. Benefield had a run that time. Truel's trying to keep the car down low, but I think that 71 is just better on the top. He's trying to run the bottom, but it's just not working for him. He hits the wall again off of turn 4. Here comes Benefield and Delaney down to the inside to pass him into turn 1. Not a very long-lived run up to the lead. If he's able to keep the car back running, he might be able to fight for it.
Ooh, as they were nearly 3 wide, heading their way off through turn number 2 is getting dicey. Delaney now pouncing on the 71 of Truel. Side by side, heading into turn number 3. Delaney on the bottom, drifting up a little bit as he heads his way through turn number 3 and 4. It's not a full-on slide job, but he's looking for it. They're still just about inches, millimeters even separating those drivers as they come across the stripe. Delaney, I think, got the nose out, but Truel still keeping that momentum, rocking and rolling on the high side, able to maintain the fight down into one where Delaney finally clears. But in that battling, it's not only brought Bryson Hicksonball into it, it's allowed Benefield to pull away now a half a second between first and second.
Benefield having a great race week the last few weeks. I remember talking to him after he won it. I think it was in the Full Length Cup Challenge. When he finally won that race, he thought he was never going to win a cup race again that season. He really had very little doubt. So much doubt it was going to happen. When it finally did, he was so happy. It was so cool to watch him do it and get the job done. But I got to tell you now, that 83, he has been on a run. He won at Sonoma in the Friday Night Lights Series, and now he won Stage 1 here today and back to the lead again. It's going to be hard to be able to bring down Adam Benefield this afternoon. When he's a confident man, he is a very dangerous man.
Yeah, confidence is key in a series like this, and when you've got a constant barrage of races week in and week out, pretty much from the end of the winter through to the dog days of the fall, you've got to stay mentally with it. We talked about the mind games a bit earlier on this broadcast, Kirk, as some of these drivers just trying to get into each other's heads with small little moves out there on the racetrack, but you've got to be headstrong to do well in a championship like this. If you get lost in the sauce a little bit too much and lose that mental focus, that's going to be when that performance starts to drop off. So you can tell that many of these drivers just focus on trying to go about this season week to week. Don't let the small stuff sweat you up too badly, otherwise you're going to be in a puddle of mess.
Now, Adam Benefield's won twice so far this season, and one stat I'd like to throw out there. His top fives match is currently a tie for the most top fives out of everyone in the season. He's tied with Andrew Dyson, his teammate, with the most top fives this season. Out of 16 starts, he's finished in the top 5 10 times. This guy is hard to beat week in, week out. But further back, I can tell you right now, we're seeing the battle on your screen. That's Hastings on the top, Winslow on the bottom. Trying to make it work. Winslow has to fall in line behind the 81. That's a battle for 11th as we go back up towards the front. This is the battle for P2, that 71. Remember, he had the lead for a short while, got past after hitting the wall a few times, but now that 71's back on the back bumper. That's 6, and he's continuing to try and maintain a top 3 podium position.
Much like a yo-yo, the gaps go up and down.
Look at the 6. Like he is aero blocked. Like, and it's so fun to watch. Take a look at this. Watch what happens here with the 6. He waits to see where the 71 goes. Then right here on the exit, the 71's nose is going to carry once he gets into that wake. Turn 1, we saw it last time by, he followed the 71 where he was going. Let's see if it happens again this time. Right there. Yeah, absolutely. So not as bad as it was last lap, but he definitely is still being able to put some air on it. Not much that time, but sorry to interrupt you. But yeah, that 6 car, he's got more speed than that 71 right now.
Yeah, no worries there, Kirk. I was just talking about how the gaps are going up and down like yo-yos at the moment. If there's any moment to interrupt me, it is a moment like that where I'm talking about yo-yos. But looking right now, Casey Graves, he's been up and down the field like an Otis elevator. He's got Jesse Winslow right behind him. Small little push as they headed their way down into turn number 1 and 2. Graves now holding on to 12th. But now look at Seth Foudy looking to stick his nose into this fight as well. We talked about that driver, the number 77 car, earlier on tonight. He's had a really good run so far. Got to give props where props are due to that driver. Now running in 15th, currently finds himself in that hornet's nest, still side by side with Amaro and Winslow. But there's definitely some props to be given to that driver who continues to climb.
You know, biggest movers is kind of a big deal. I want to bring out one right now. Driver of the number 88, Daniel Wiles, started today's race back in 31st. He's up to P7. What an absolute mad lad. And if you go and look at the standings for this series, there's only one car in the entire top 10, I should say, one car in the entire group of cars that has not won a race at the top of the board. So the best way to put it is he has the most points out of anybody who has yet to win a race. He is a guy who is dominating out there in terms of getting good finishes. He's not a guy going out there and winning every week. He hasn't won it all yet this season. But he has had the best finishes, best stage results of anybody who is racing right now, as we got a battle just in front of him. 73 and the 63. This is for a top 4 position on your screen. 88's closing in on this battle as we speak of it.
And look at this gaggle of cars as they head their way through the turn. That battle that we thought was just going to be 2 drivers battling for second between Delaney and Truel. Well, it's now got Joseph McWhorter behind. Jacob Simpson involved in that as well. Bryson Hicksonball looking to get a good run. You know, a point that I raised in the break between the 2 stages is the fact that at the moment, it's only 17 points between Adam Benefiel and Bryson Hicksonball for the regular season points lead. And based off how things are running at the current moment, with a second gap between Adam Benefiel and anybody else behind, that gap is fixing to close down once more. There's a realistic scenario, unless a falling anvil comes down, that Adam Benefiel could leave this race with the championship points lead. And that would be the first time in quite some time that anyone named Hicksonball would be leading the points here in Friday Night Lights.
All right. Well, you can see right here, this 6 car seems to be holding up the entirety of second on back to 7th. Wiles has now caught this group, and as the 6 car and the 71 try to battle for second, 83 is just rolling away with this, pulling out to over a second lead compared to everybody else on a technical drafting track, to say the least. Yeah, sure, you can get away if you get a good, mistake happen, but it's rare to hang on to it. So Benefiel doing a great job there. 22's loose on the bottom of the racetrack, clipped the apron. He's going to lose some momentum. The 88, the 63, and the 22 might be 3 wide here on the exit of turn 2 if things continue the way they are.
I gotta say, this battle is frantic at the moment, as I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop in this little fight, and it's gonna have to drop here soon. We are getting closer and closer to the end of this stage. We're not there yet. We're still a little bit out, but there's definitely a little bit of time left for these drivers to try and go for the jugular with each other. They haven't picked up the machetes yet. They're still holding on to an olive fork.
Let's just go ahead for a quick moment and take a look here at these cars. Again, you can see some cars still choosing to run the bottom. What we saw early in stage 1 was right around 10 laps to go, 11 laps to go into stage. We started seeing cars go up towards the outside wall to be able to try and make speed in turn 1 and 2. And it looks like that's happening again here, but this time a little bit sooner in the run than what we normally would expect. 88 of Daniel Wiles now making a move on Jacob Simpson in that 22. You can see 22 has no help. He's going to try and hang on to the position as the 88 goes way up to the outside wall, trying to carry as much momentum as he can. And it looks like on the exit, 88's got a big old run, and he's going to be able to clear Jacob Simpson. So Wiles moves up yet another spot to P6, now going for P5 to the inside of Hicksonball.
Yeah, and you mentioned the stat about Daniel Wiles having the highest points position out of anybody yet to score a win so far here this season. Maybe the win would come here tonight. He's certainly showing some good pace, flexing his muscles right now. Still trying to get that move done on Hicksonball as he heads his way through turn number 3 and 4. It gets tight on the exit, though. Both of those drivers a little bit squirrely.
Yeah, got a little sideways here. He had a lift, so he didn't get into the side of the 63. Lost the spot he just gained back. So now, what I can tell you is that 88, he needs to have himself a hell of a day. I mean, a lot of luck needs to be on his side. He's not a car we've seen up front leading a lot outside of super speedways. However, we see him in the top 5 almost every track he goes to. I mean, Wiles is a talented race car driver. But the day he breaks through and actually wins one of these, look out, 71's loose. That's right there to save the car. But the day that 88 Wild's able to win a race, I think that he's going to become dangerous.
You know, with how long I've been doing this broadcasting stuff, just how long I've been a motorsports fan, period. If I had $1 for every single time I saw a driver who'd been solid, a really strong contender, finally break through with that win and unlock a new category of themselves, be able to step up to another level, I'd probably be able to buy some of their trophies that they ended up getting. So I think Daniel Wiles may fall into that category as well. He's been so strong and consistent throughout this season as well. I don't have the stats on hand at the moment. I may have to break through to see how many top 5 and top 10s he has so far here this season. They very well have one of the best average finishes throughout this campaign as well.
Yeah, the guy, 6 top 5s, 11 top 10s for 18 starts. I mean, that's pretty damn good, if you ask me. I think it's pretty
consistency.
Well, but remember, there's 4 guys that are really dominant in this series that are like 10 top 5s, 9 top 5s, 8 top 5s. That's like Hoytsma, Dyson, Benefield. These guys that go out there and compete at a high level every single week. Is the battle for second starting to heat up. Delaney in the 73. Oh, man, they really got leaning on each other. Now the second, third, fourth, and fifth place spots are all tight under a blanket now. The 88 trying to close in on it, and every single car in the top 5 is running a different line right now.
Yeah, it's an experimentation that these drivers have been working with all throughout the night as Bryson Hixenball finally looking to peak at the right time as this is getting really dicey as they headed their way down into 1.
Really aggressive move from the 22, trying to find a hole in the very outside of the car of the group. He got there. He got that 63 to slow up a little bit. Now he's in the wall, 63 is. 22 gives a shot to the back bumper of the 73. And Jacob Simpson really just getting aggressive. That's awesome. Man, the thing is, it's not experimentation. They know they can run any line. It's about finding the clean air. They're trying to find that clean air. Experimentation, sure, but I think it's more trying to find a hole where the car in front of you is not stealing from you. That's why the 22 is right up on the wall when the 73 is just a lane and a half down. He has to be very careful on exit now. They're 3 wide for that position. Here comes Bryce Reiner in the 5. Where did he come from? He's been on a real rocket of a run. That 5 car now to the inside of the 63.
This is getting real frantic out there on the road right now. You love to see it, although from our perspective, it's definitely a lot less stressful here in the booth than it is for these drivers behind the wheel. Reiner looking for it, gets very flirtatious with that rear quarter panel of Bryson Hixenball's number 63 machine. They chase each other.
I mean, 4 rather. He's moved up so much spots in the last handful of laps. It's actually amazing to see that happen. And now he's trying to catch up to P2. He's going cutting the dog leg right here. '73 trying to get to the outside, up front there, not quite enough. But that side-by-side battle between the 22 of Jacob Simpson and the 63 of Hixenball still continues, as the battle for P2 still continues as well. That 73, they're just trying the outside line, but it just doesn't seem like it has that much of a run in the center and the exit of the corner. You get enough run to get to the back bumper going into the next turn, but not enough to be able to slingshot around.
You know, we did this a bit earlier on in the broadcast. I wonder how we in the production truck, if we could pull this up once again, an aerial view of these drivers as they continue to battle. Oh boy, bad wall bounce there from Jonathan Delaney, maybe at risk of losing this spot to Joseph McWhorter. Was just going to note, look at where the rubber is being laid down right now. McWhorter is going on the lighter stuff there on the high side, just not able to make something work because he doesn't have the grip to go along with it. Bryce Reiner, meanwhile, was running down there, locked on the white line right there on the bottom, and he's able to make something work as McWhorter looking for it around the outside. Delaney downtown into turn number 1 and 2, even on that dirty part of the track that doesn't have nearly enough rubber. He's still making something out of nothing. He's got 2 lemons and he's trying to make a gallon of lemonade out of it. 3 wide now.
Yeah, that 5 car is bad fast on a long run. He has been on a march. Look at how many spots he has gained since the start of this.
See.
3 wide for third place. The 73 on the top. 6 cars falling back. 22 with Jacob Simpson tries to get 2 for 1. And it looks like him and Hixenball will try to hang on to it. And it looks like he does for the time being. But that 5 car, Reiner, has checked out. He has moved up P2. And now he is gapped from second to third is just about 0.4 of a second, 0.5 of a second, half a second. He's really pulling away. 5 cars saved something in the tank, passed all these cars very quickly, and now look who else has joined the fray. The 88 of Daniel Wiles back in the battle, as well as Jacob Simpson, McWhorter, Hixenball. Man, it's just chaotic fun, and all the cars are having fun. I believe Benefield might be missing out on a little bit of fun back here, but I don't think he cares as we're coming to get one more lap to go in stage number 2. Cross the line. This is it, folks, the money lap. How many points are you going to get? You got to pass your neighbor to find out. 1 and 2. You can see that 83 has no chance of screwing this up. Just keep the car straight, and I think he'll be fine. P2 is pretty much set in stone as well. Battle for third is where it's all at right now. 73's got it. And heading through the final couple corners, it looks like that 83 of Benefield will come off turn number 4, and he will win stage number 2, sweeping the stages. And Reiner will take second with McWhorter, Hixenball, Simpson, Wiles, your top 6, and the rest of your field on your screen at the line. Benefield has been so dominant so far today. So absolutely dominant. I'm sure that there's a good chance we'll hear from him at the end of this race. We're going to go ahead and take a quick step aside, folks. We'll be right back after a short break to get to the finish of this one here for the Windy City 300 live on Maconi Entertainment. You're watching us for the Windy City 300. I'll see you in a moment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Pit stops are over. Final stage coming up here live for you right now. 105 laps is what's on the docket for this run. We hope we don't see any cautions, but hey, you never know. It is Chicagoland. Here we go. Going for the restart. Benefield, Reiner, Hixenbaugh, McWhorter, Dyson, Simpson, Delaney, Kluot, Wiles, and Velasquez Jr. Your top 10 out of turn number 4. The pace car is going to go ahead and make that aggressive left-hand turn. That's impossible for a car to do. And we are back underway. Great restart for the outside line that time. Reiner did not get a good jump. He now falls back to P3, battling side by side with Dyson.
I gotta say, Dyson, who's been through the ringer so far here in the night. We talked about him, obviously, at the start of the show, starting the race from the pole position. But since then, he's pretty much been, last seen hitchhiking on I-80. I think he's peaking at the right time, though, now in this final stage. Actually within camera shot and putting some good runs right now, currently holding on to third. For a driver who we usually talk about just being a road course ringer, he has really been a strong contender so far here this season. I mean, he's third in points heading into this race, for crying out loud.
He's a jack of all trades. He can win on a road course, on an oval, doesn't matter. That 41's able to do it, but right now that 83 trying to show that he can do it on a road course and on an oval. He won a road course last week. Guess what? He's trying to win it an oval here this afternoon. So the rest of the field tries to get settled out to finish up lap number 96 into lap number 97. See all the cars try to go down to the bottom of the racetrack. Early in the run, we'll see that a lot more often. A lot of cars choose to go down to the bottom, but once those tires wear out, you will migrate to the top.
Yeah, it has been a very fascinating storyline to keep our eyes on throughout one of these stints, to see where the line moves around, where these drivers move around, because everybody has their own exact preference. Some of these drivers just want to stay locked there on the bottom, have some consistency. Others, though, about as adaptive as a lizard, able to point their eyes in two different directions, change the color of their skin with every single shout, and go for different line after different line, lap after lap. Lizard indeed.
Sorry, I happened to hear that word. I hit the button. That's how it works. Okay. Well.
Lizard.
Yep, that's it. That 83, that 63, top 2. Look like they're having a great day. 41 sitting there, P4. But McWhorter there, P3. He's recently just got a deal in with Williams Motorsports Development, and it is working out. Joseph McWhorter in the 73, working with the WMD is what they call themselves. And I tell you what, William Kelly, the owner of that team, was very happy to have that 73 join them. And they have a partnership now with the Outlier Speed Co. And it seems like that little group right there is showing that they got some speed working together, running in a podium position right here, right alongside the Conti cars.
Yeah, now, as much as we've been talking throughout this race about positioning yourself out there on the road, sometimes doing well in these races is all about positioning yourself well in the championship, putting yourself with a good team, good group of folks behind you that have the confidence in you and give you the confidence in yourself. Right now, though, we've got 3-car breakaway at the front of the pack, and it's some familiar names, shall we say. It's the big three, all with a 3 in their name. Adam Benefield in the 83, Bryson Hixenbaugh in the 63, Joseph McWhorter there in the 73. For the longest time there, the top 3 in the points. However, McWhorter started to fall back a bit over the past couple of months. Now, though, you got to consider the prospect of a potential swap-roo in the championship points. I believe that gap now between Benefield and Hixenbaugh may be down to about 15 points in that regular season championship, based off how I believe the stage points were allocated to those drivers at the end. Either way, a slice it. Leaving this race with the championship points lead is a realistic possibility for Adam Benefield right now.
Well, what I can tell you is no matter what, that 83 gained points today. As long as he does not make a mistake here, he's got to stay up towards the front and finish in front of the 63. And if he does that the rest of the season, I think he's got a good shot of winning the championship for the regular season. Now, what you may notice is the 63 is hugging the bottom. 83 goes off the bottom way earlier than the other two. That normally puts a little bit less pressure on the right front. Depends on how early you do it. But the top 3 all under a blanket, each of them doing a wonderful job. And you're right, I love that you notice they're all ending in 3s. 6-3, 7-3, and 8-3 right there on the screen. Oh, man, it makes you wonder, like, what's going to happen longer the run goes, because we know there's a car that has long run speed that went through the whole field from 30th all the way to a top 2 last stage round. He's right now running P5. Bryce Reiner trying to catch up to this. I think in the long run, he's going to be a car to watch. But that 73 running slightly higher than the 63 right now. That, again, is McWhorter trying to get by Hicksonball using a slightly higher line, and it seems to be working out for him right here.
Yeah, and even though we're just past the halfway mark of this race, I think we've already gotten the opportunity to figure out who are going to be the main drivers to keep our eyes out for when it comes to the fall of the checkered flag. Of these 3 that we've got running on our podium spots right now, I am still the least convinced of Bryson Hicksonball. We know that he's a quick driver. Won 7 races last season alone. So far here in 2026, it's been another multi-win season, 3 wins to this point, leading the championship points. There's no denying the fact that Bryson Hicksonball is fast, but compared to the dominance that he had last season, it's been a bit more understated so far here. And now I think that's partly down to the fact that we've had a bit more competition so far here in this championship. Last season, we had a litany of one-time race winners. Not a lot of drivers able to visit victory lane multiple times throughout 2025. That has certainly been far from the case so far here in 26. But either way it slices, Hicksonball in these races, I don't think has there really been a race where he has had the lights to flag fastest car. Yep. I'm struggling to think.
So the thing is, he's won 3 races on the season so far. He's tied for second with Dyson for most wins on the season. Hoytsma having right now the most with 4. So, I mean, he's still able to win. He puts himself in a position to win a race. I always say, you don't need a fastest car. You don't need to be a fastest driver. You just you got to have the best circumstances and have the best attitude, and you never know. Luck is always a big deal in these races too. You get yourself in a good position on your own talent, and sometimes luck goes your way, sometimes it goes the other way. You never know. But right now, I could say he's running P2 right behind his teammate. He's got an Outlier Speed Co car right on his tail behind him. I think that those 2 Team Conti Sim Performance cars, the 63 and the 83, I mean, they got to welcome this new competition. I bet that's going to make something a little bit more fun for this top spot instead of just dominating, running away with it. I'm sure they'd love to see that domination, but 73 able to hang on to the tail, and he's not giving up on it easy, though. Staying close. 1 bobble, 1 mistake, and that 73 is there.
I think that small little bobble may have just come. Hicksonball, again, very flirtatious with that outside safer barrier, heading down the back straightaway. Thought that would have been contact. I think it was a slight little tap at most. He's gotten away with it there, but Benefield's starting to pull a gap now. 0.4 of a second, nearly the margin, as they head their way across the line.
Yeah, a little known fact, by the way, about Bryson Hicksonball I learned this week. Turns out Hicksonball's the guy that's in charge of putting out the official O'Reilly Cars schedule out there. He's actually on the group. He's one of the main honchos that gets that job done. And in other words, he's pretty cool. That's the best way I could use to describe it. But now that's 73 closing in on him. I mean, he's still showing that he's very competitive in these cars. He can build a setup around it, make it work. It's pretty dang cool, to say the least. Gen 4s, rather. Gen 4s, I should say. Got to clarify. O'Reilly's what he normally does in the driving, but he's in charge of the Gen 4s, I should say. We got to make that slight correction there.
Driving that Gen 4 car on a road course is so much fun because it drives so bad on anything that isn't an oval.
Oh, it's a blast. It doesn't matter what car it's in. I always say, if the car drives like crap, put 40 guys out there who can drive like crap, and you know, who knows? Whoever comes on top is the best driver out of the field, because if you can handle them things, you did pretty dang good.
Yeah, it's like wrestling a bald cheetah. That's pretty much what it's like. It is just, oh, that is a disgusting image in my head. We're going to switch away now and talk about Jonathan Delaney right now, shall we, in this number 6 machine. Currently running a P7.
Sorry, wrong button. My bad.
Yeah, it's all good there. I rang my head a couple of times as a child, which has me thinking about bald cheetahs on the air, but I digress. Jonathan Delaney right now holding on to 7th. I won't say, oh, how the mighty have fallen. I still think there's something up the sleeve for that number 6 machine, but definitely running in an unfamiliar position right now.
Oh boy, you know that 83 is pulling away. Look at that gap. Look at the gap he has over P2. That gap has grown and grown and grown after the last handful of laps. That 73 really wants to get by, but he's just not able to get the job done. He hasn't been able to this entire time. And once that 73 is able to get the run, able to make the pass. Oh, here he is. Gave him a shot going into the corner that time. A little bit aero block. Right in front. Making sure he gets in the dirty air. That is a really rough spot to be in. Now the 5 car is closing in on that 41 though for P4. A little bit further back. I think that battle is going to be a real quick decision here. I think that right there, you're already side by side. 5's already making the pass right here. He makes the pass, gets by the 41, and now that 5 car rider, I think that long run speed is starting to show. And it's starting to kick it on right now too.
Yeah, that 5 machine has done some good adjustments so far here in the night, and it's turned that car into a stable rocket ship. It's not a full-on rocket ship. It's not going to explode. It is a stable platform that he's got rocking with right now. It has been a good run so far here for that 5, a fantastic-looking race car, if I do say so myself. And for Bryce Reiner, if he can get this done, that would be a very good result indeed. It's been a little while since Bryce Reiner was able to grab a victory, that coming at Martinsville in the fall of last year. He's only grabbed 1 pole position so far this season, that coming at Las Vegas, a somewhat similar racetrack in a way to this. So we'll have to see whether or not Reiner may have a career night here tonight, but looking good so far.
A little bit further back, you see the 6 car. Jacob Simpson, a little bit off the pace, went back outside of the top 10. He just hasn't really had the speed he had in the second stage, and it's showing. He's just not going the right direction. I think it might be a bad pit stop change or something. I'm not sure. You never really know. He's just going the wrong direction, so hopefully he's able to correct that and get back moving towards the front. You can see there, 6 car Delaney was able to get back around Truel as Blake Kluot tries to follow him through side by side for that position. A little bit further forward again. 41's trying to take over that 5 car again after the 5 cleared him. And these guys have actually started to close up again on Benefield. Benefield has kind of scooted out about 1/10 since we last talked about it. He was a half a second earlier. Now he's up to about 6/10 of a second over second and third place. And that gap, according to what I see in the eye test, I think that's growing. I think that's what I'm seeing. It's just going to be constantly getting bigger and bigger. I think that 83 is the car to beat today. You're going to have to do it on strategy if you're going to do it at all. And what I did was I went and talked to the drivers, and I found out what the pit stop cycle looks like. Around 55 to 60 laps is what I heard for fuel. So because of that, we went back green with about 105, 102 in that range laps to go in the race. So if we do the math, it means I got to pit at least one more time before it's down the end of the race. I think that with 55 to go, 50 laps to go, we might see some folks head down pit road. Also want to let those Hoytsma fans know that Dave Hoytsma has now left the server along with his son. 2 Hoytsmas out of the race, finishing today P33, P34 this afternoon. Both cars will not see the checkered flag this afternoon.
Yeah, no, it was a brutal night for Lucas Hoytsma. We saw him get involved in that incident with the number 21 of Eric Wineland, and That was just an ugly, ugly sight hang down in there. Definitely some frustration brewing in that moment for both drivers involved. As switching to some more cheery stuff and riding on board with your current 7th place runner of Hunter Troll, looking to apply some pressure right now to Jonathan Delaney, who I think Delaney has a very good short run car, but when the runs start to get a little bit longer, that's when that pace really starts to bleed off.
Isn't that just a lovely sound here, Ron? You hear those cars flying by? It's just such a cool sound. I love that about this thing. It's a sport that I love so dearly. Oh, man. Well, 56 laps on fuel is what I'm getting right here. You'll have to go long, it sounds like. So I think that there might be a 3-stop strategy. I mean, I'm thinking that what we're seeing is I think we're going to see some cars come down now. Wesley Napier is one of them. He's on pit road. I don't know if he's going to actually go back. Oh, black flag. Out of the race. Sped on pit lane, it looks like. Not out of the race, but he's definitely going to have to serve a penalty to be able to get back out there. Not a great day for Wesley Napier. So I did just get a message that this gap is going to be very close. You can either split it up in the 3s or you can run long, and I think a lot of folks will run long. We're going to find out here. 31 laps on the current stint. You got to run really long, see what they can do.
You know, that is the crucial dilemma that many of these drivers are stuck in at the current moment. If you run long, you may have to... I wouldn't say
gas.
pray. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to save some gas, but I was going to say pray for a yellow to make that fuel saving a little bit easier for you. If that comes down, if a yellow does take place, then you would be golden. But so far here in this race, Kirk, we've had a pretty clean track record, really no incidents of note. We had a couple earlier on during stage number 1, but ever since we got stage 2 up, rocking and rolling, the only other yellow since has been for that stage 2 caution. So is it advisable to gamble on a yellow flag coming out between now and the end? I don't think it is.
No, it's not. I mean, we had that wreck on lap 4, but it's very rare that we see that happen. It could happen at any time, of course. You never know. Cars make mistakes all the time, but it's very rare you see these wrecks actually happen. We saw the wreck happen with the 21 of Wineland. Also saw a car with a 97 getting a wreck. And at the very beginning of the contact there, oh, there's another one. There goes Seth Foudy through the grass. Seth Foudy in the grass sliding. Right now, he's trying to hang on to the car. He's sliding, and now that slight contact, no caution, staying green.
I nearly summoned that, I'm pretty sure, as we take a look at this from Seth Foudy, heading his way out of the turn, and yeah, contact there with the 01, bounces off the barrier, nothing Seth Foudy could do. Nice Tokyo drift, not gonna be a fan of him, will the landscaping crews be, but Seth Foudy gonna rejoin the race without any further incidents.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault at all, yeah. You know, that slight contact, he did a great job keeping the car somewhat pointed in the right direction, drifting it through the grass. He's back out there on the racetrack now, but he's way back in 29th place, 15 seconds behind the leader after that contact. So we keep it going straight. But again, this type of stuff can happen at any time. You see wrecks happen all the time. Right now, I think the 22 and the 18 is going to be the real close battle. They are mad at each other. The 18 of Velasquez and the 22, if we can get a camera on it just real quick, it's going to be kind of chaotic. The 18 has been leaning all over that 22 lap after lap, and I don't know how that essentially is going to go, but not anymore. It looks like 22 got by, so he's going to be fine. Let's see if we can't get back up here towards front. Sorry about that. Oh, the 63 is getting by a lap car. That's a little Wallen. Now, side by side right now for the 4th place spot, Bryce Reiner and Andrew Dyson side by side. Not really saving much of anything. They're trying to push as hard as they can, really.
Yep, doing everything that they can do at the current moment as Dyson's still locked in right behind the 5 of Bryce Reiner, trying to do everything that he can do. Just want to raise a quick little point about Charles Velasquez Jr. in that number 18 car. Haven't really seen him so far much here in 2026. He had a darn good 2025 campaign, grabbed 3 wins. I think would have been a solid contender for the championship had he made it into the championship 4. Of course, that didn't come to be, and he lost out on the crown. But either way, Velasquez Jr. very quick, and 2 of his 3 wins actually came in near enough back-to-back weeks at Gateway and Kansas towards the end of last season. And of course, Kansas, a track that he drew some comparisons to this place here at Chicagoland. So in his return to the championship, Velasquez, after last being out here on the racetrack, I would say quite a few months ago, bouncing back in a big way. P12 to run on your return to the series, that's not too shabby at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Now, driver I want to talk about that we don't get a chance to see very often, Matthew Blackley in the 43, currently running in 14th place. I tell you what, this guy, he's kind of new to this series. He's a driver who's kind of been quiet, but he's run top 15 speed, so he's not horrible. And I think he's learning a lot today, running where he is. And I'm sure over the course of the rest of the run, maybe he can get himself a top 10 today if luck goes his way. But very nice to have Matthew Blackley running along with us here this afternoon.
Yeah, so Matthew Blackley, who's a newer driver into this championship, running in a lucky spot P13 at the moment, kind of currently on an island of his own with only a few drivers around him. Jesse Winslow and Noah Woods not too far behind here either, as you can just see that margin. It's only about a second and some change between those drivers, but you look at the gaps out there on the road with the drivers ripping it around here at Chicagoland in a 1 second gap. May seem like a vast yawning chasm when you actually look at the distance out there on the road, as Bryce Reiner still in 4th and Andrew Dyson now in P5. This is once again just been a good night for Dyson. I don't think he has any aspirations of getting that regular season championship, but he did himself some very good favors. I think at the moment, where do you think is the farthest? Suppose that Andrew Dyson, has some bad runs between now and the end of the regular season, but still shows up to every single one. I think probably the farthest he would fall back is to like 6th. He's still on track for a very good run in the regular season points.
Yeah, I mean, points are points. I think he's not going to have a problem. He's just that fast on any track you put him on. Him and his entire team just are pretty much shoe-ins to make it into that little run there this afternoon. I think he'll be fine. But in terms of can he win the championship, he's going to need a lot of help. Dyson, he's fast. He's able to do it. He can win anywhere. But I don't see the speed this year compared to what I've seen last year. And he was points leader leading up all the way towards the end of the season. And that 41 had a good shot to win the championship, but he was unable to do so. I think that this year he's going to have to lighten it up in the last 10 races of the season for this chase. And I think that the really good thing for him right now is that he went out there, got the pole, started up front, fell back outside of the top 10, and recovered all the way now to running inside the top 5. Great day. Not a problem. Finish it out. Good pit stop when we come down pit road here in about 10 or 11 laps. We'll see cars down on pit road. Caution! Caution is out. Oh, this is going to throw a wrench into the whole idea of going down pit road. You cannot make it on gas from here. Oh, big crash. Evan Mesnard, Seth Foudy, and Charles Eaton all go around. Let's take a look here. You see Charles Eaton in the yellow. 35 car is Michael Mesnard. And the 77 of Foudy goes way up to, oh my good Lord, Michael Mesnard. Michael Mesnard goes down after realizing he's 3 wide. I mean, oh, very big misjudgment.
Yeah,
I hate to see that for Michael. And the 77, 75. Very minimal damage for all 3 cars, but they will be on pit road. And, man, that's not good. Here we go. Got cars coming down pit road. This is going to be a big deal, folks. I don't think you can make it on gas. You'd have to save a lot of fuel. I don't think it's possible to make it. Maybe. I mean, you'd have to super save and hope for caution at some point.
I mean, maybe it's just me. I'm usually the one that advocates for the more conservative strategy, but at this point, you may as well just go for broke. Just come down pit lane, fill up the fuel, get some tires taken care of, and just send it here on this restart. May have to worry about a pit stop farther down the line, but as we get a little bit later on here in this race, these drivers got to be more frazzled. I think they would have the opportunity to change some tires if they do want to later on, so may as well take full advantage of it.
Hold on. Yeah, up front, new leader. Andrew Dyson had the fastest pit stop. Very fast pit stop for Dyson. Takes over the lead from 5th place on pit entry. What? Can we just back it up just a little bit further? Back it up. Yeah. Look, 83 hits his box there. 41 there. Wait. No, that looked fine. Wow. That is phenomenal right there. Way to go. Putting himself in a position to win the race. But now, 61 laps to go. I'm thinking, folks, that I don't know if these folks are aware, but I think that some folks needed to come down and top off. I'm looking at cars like the 18 of Velasquez, Charles Eaton, the 01 of Casey Graves. These guys that are going down pit road will have slightly more fuel than the rest of the field. But, I mean, the gains are marginal. It depends on how this run goes. I think folks are going to be shutting the cars off, saving a lot. I would not expect to see anyone try and make this on pit stop wise. I think that they're just going to be saving.
Can they save about 13 laps worth of gas, though?
No, it's not 13. No, they can make it 56 laps on the tank. 56 laps. So because of that, that means that if you're super saving, you'd have to save 5 or 6 laps. I mean, they would have to go hardcore save the entire way. And it's possible. I'm not saying it's not. I'm sure it can actually be done. But these cars have saved. We're going to find out. I would be surprised if they just went all out here. Back underway. Getting up to speed. Not a huge jump for either lane that time. First time we've seen both lanes get a good start today. Into the corner. And not a surprise, a lot of the cars going straight for that white line. Shortest way around the racetrack, trying to use the least amount of fuel possible. Not anymore. Wow. I don't know. Some folks might not even try. They might hope for a caution. We're going to find out.
Yeah, either hope for a caution or go for it. Even if it is within a good window, saving 7 laps worth of gas here in a run like this, you can do it gradually, but that will cost you a little bit of time. So some of these drivers may be saying, you know what, let's not even go for the fuel saving strategy. Let's just try and gas it and go. Worry about the pit stop a little bit later on here. They may be able to come out of this race a little bit better and get some better track position, overtaking some of the drivers that are doing a fuel saving strat.
Yeah, I know for a fact I've seen one car who's actually clutching the 18 car, the 77 car. They are both saving hardcore, the 77 and the 18, towards the tail of the field, but up in the middle of the pack, the 56 of Noah Woods, almost 3 wide there. They're hanging on to it, but up front, these guys, I don't know if they're saving gas at all. Let me look at their lap times here. Dyson, for example, Andrew Dyson. Whenever he was up front, he was running lap times of 31.2s, 31.1s. Sorry, let me try that again. 21.9s, I should say. That's better. Let me reset entirely. Here we go. 31.2s is what I'm seeing. So right now, this last time by, he ran his fastest lap of the whole race 2 laps ago. So I don't think he's saving. Oh, 3 wide back here in the back of the field. Kluwat's getting leaned on from the 71 just behind this. The 71 and the 14 leaning on each other. just on the tail end of the top 10. See right there? Slight, no contact, but definitely rubbing, trying to get close to him. The top 10 from the 71 on forward have really scooted out to a larger little gap as everyone else is really slowed up. The 6-car Delaney, for example, we saw him in the top 2 earlier in this race. I think Delaney is saving fuel right now. He's in the middle 3 wide now at the tail of this line, and more cars are just saving big time. Huge saves. Look, he's shutting the car off. He's holding in the clutch. Delaney, big time saving.
Delaney is definitely doing it. You can see those revs sink down as he headed his way through turn number 1 and 2. Let's see it again through 3. There it is, down to about 2,000 RPM, and it spikes up once more. You can see even in that small little kick of the clutch how much time he is losing there. So
Benefield going for the lead down to the inside of Dyson. He's able to make that pass work easy peasy. These top group of cars do not want to see this race go green to the end. They will have to come down pit road. They're going to need to save gas. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it. Some cars think they can. The 18, the 6, they think they can make it. They have to super save, though, to make it happen.
Yeah, so that'll be very fascinating as time rolls along here in this race. Who's going to be able to pull off the fuel-saving strategy the best? Who's going to just abandon it? That's the worst thing about the fuel-saving strategy. You have got to lock yourself in. You can't half-ass a fuel-saving strategy. Once you go for it, you've got to stay on that course. You got to stay with it. You can't pull away and go the other way. You can't backtrack from a fuel-saving strategy. So that is the kind of biggest worry when it comes to committing to it, because you've got to make that strong, firm, everlasting commitment. And some racers may not be a fan of that. They want to run this race, kind of march to the beat of their own drum and be able to think on the fly. Fuel-saving strategies don't really allow you to do that. You're always worrying about a fuel number instead of worrying about adapting as this race draws along.
I'm noticing the longer that this is going to go, folks, we won't be able to tell you exactly who's going to be on what strategy as we go, but you can almost assuredly say that those cars that are pushing hard above in front of the 6, I think are the cars that are not saving very much, or if they are not saving as hard as the cars behind them. The 6, the 31, the 90, the 59, the 30, these guys are all saving big time trying to make it to the end of this particular stage, the end of this race. If they're able to do it, I mean, that would be phenomenal. Look at here, battle for second. Daniel Wiles, yet to win this season, trying to go for P2. But remember, they will not be able to make it on fuel. They need a caution in order for this race to go their way. We might get a surprise winner if this stays green today, folks.
Yeah, it's all in flux at the moment. I gotta say, Daniel Wiles running in P2. He's still a driver that's catching my eye outside of the drivers that we have seen be consistently quick. Ergo, your current race leader, the number 83 of Adam Benefield. Gotta say, the 88 of Daniel Wiles and the 5 of Bryce Reiner have been some drivers of note as well. Been strong throughout this race. Obviously, we're not worrying about sheer pace out there on the road. There's a lot of different stuff that's factoring in to figure out who's going to come out of this race smelling like a bed of roses, and who's going to come out of this race smelling like a bucket of horse manure. I gotta say, if there's a sneaky pick for a driver to try and bag their first win of this season, I'm hedging my bets on the 88 and the 5 being the drivers that can maybe pull it off.
You know, I'm looking at some cars that I think are going to be really dangerous here. The 5, the 22, the 71, and the 14. These guys have been kind of very aggressive the last couple corners. Inches apart from each other, nearly wrecking each other. Oh, there it is again. Contact from the 5 and the 22. They save the car. They keep it going straight. But like I was saying, they're being really aggressive right now.
You see that 22 sliding around. I've talked about the 22 being very inconsistent throughout this season, having some good speed, but occasionally getting himself caught up in some trouble. Right now,
Oh, he blew
just
the
trying
motor.
to
He
stay
blew
with
his
it.
motor. He blew his motor. He money shifted. 22 money shifted. He's out of the race.
And just like that, it all goes down the drain.
Daniel Wiles takes over the lead. New leader, Daniel Wiles, who has yet to win all season long, moves to the top spot. Benefield drops back to third.
Oh, and Benefield, I think, now senses an opportunity. Just in all that, we were talking about our top three having a little breakaway right now, and don't have that going on one bit. You've just got a clump of cars at the front of this field. Hicksonball diving down there on the apron, trying to make something work to close up the gap and get a move done here on out of Benefield so he can have a shot at the race lead. That's 63, I think, all throughout the night. Has not led a single lap. Maybe time is now to do it.
I don't know, man. This is going to be such a close finish this afternoon. I have no idea who's going to save enough gas. There's so many people that are really saving hard in the back. These guys up here aren't saving as hard, nearly as hard. I don't think they're going to be saving at all. But the 83 going off the pace. Let's take a look at that pass for the lead while we were here. Wiles P2 goes down to the bottom, has the 41 follow him through, and the 83 can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and that right there is how you do it
Oh,
for
hold
a
on.
driver.
Sorry, the 83 is saving gas. I just got on board with him. He is definitely clutching it in the corners now. He's starting to save gas.
And let's see as he heads his way off through turn number 1 and 2. Take a look at that tack. Gets up to the red line there, and then immediately sinks down to idle. Clutching and coasting through the turns. Is able to keep some good speed as well. That's a sharp driver there behind the wheel of that 83 car.
Now, it might be too little too late, but if he's able to save enough gas, that would be phenomenal. All of these guys are saving gas. Something switched in their minds. I don't know what happened, but at the beginning of this run, they were going all out. But now that it's gotten a little bit ways, some cars are going full out. Some guys are saving. I don't think any of them were going to make it.
How's Delaney holding up? Because he was the one doing fuel saving very early on in this stint. He has sunk down to 21st. Now, I'm just wondering in terms of where he is out there on the racetrack. He's outside of the top 20 currently. I wonder what sort of hornet's nest he finds himself in. If he finds himself in a log jam or if he's running comfortable.
Now, I'm looking at that 6 car actually right now. He is currently in a very comfortable position towards the back of the field, running with a group of cars trying to save as much gas as they possibly can, and I understand why. This front group, though, like Benefield has now found his way outside of the lead pack group. He's decided, remember, he's dominant. He won stage 1. He won stage 2. He won last week at Sonoma. But today he has the fastest car, but he is intentionally saving as much gas as that 83 will allow. He has fallen back all the way outside of the top 10.
Yeah, this is a kooky race that we've got going on right now. Despite the fact these drivers are fuel saving, they're still battling it out. Hunter Trull, who I gotta say is having one of his best nights so far this season, running in 4th. Just got a move done around the outside of Bryson Hicksonball. Now trying to look for a move on Dyson here. What's the situation with that 71? Is he doing some fuel saving? Doesn't look like it. It looks like he's going flat out.
No, yeah, he's going flat out. Some of these guys are absolutely going flat out. But here's the thing. It reminds me of a race that happened in Michigan back in the early, like these races that would happen when it goes to fuel mileage back in the early 2000s, 2008, 2009, 2010, right there, late 2010s, right? When you get to that point, you see cars, the leader might run out of gas, second place might run out of gas. If we stay green all the way through this, I think that we might see something very similar to that, where people will be running out of gas and they'll have to come down pit road. And this simulator we got right here, we have the ability to see the exact precise moment when these cars are going to run out of gas. So they know whether or not they're going to make it. They know their abilities right before they even get out there. But back in 08, 09, 2010, they had a rough idea. It was not ever exact. You could be a half a gallon off and you can lose the Coca-Cola 600. I mean, Tony Stewart had it happen to him. And whenever he got passed by Casey Kane, a bunch of cars ran out of gas at the end of that race at I believe it was the Coca-Cola 600. Casey Kane ended up winning the All-Star race that year and the Coke 600, and he did it by fuel strategy. That could happen again here, but the thing is, these drivers all know what number they have. That's the difference between then and now. They will just be hoping for a yellow, and if they get it, they'll be able to come down pit road and get full set of tires and a full tank of gas, and they might be able to go out there and actually win the race. That's what these guys up front are hoping for. But if you're the 73, the 21, the 83, the 10, you are super saving right now. You cannot be pushing hard at all. And the 83 has shown that. He dropped out of the lead pack draft. Oh man, this is my favorite type of racing. We got ourselves a fuel mileage race, boys. And the thing is, I don't know who's going to win the race. Of course, we like the final 2-lap dashes where everybody's going the same 100%. But these cars, terrible when that happens. It's pretty much identical lap times when that happens. But it's not necessarily always the best driver out there at that point. Now, it's about who has the best strategy, the best team, working together to try and make it to the end on fuel. Some might not. But out of the cars that are out there still pushing hard, the entire top 9 are cars that I think cannot make it. I do not see any of those 9 cars on your screen making it on gas. 10th, maybe. You'd have to super save. Boston Wheeler, Benefield, McWhorter, Wineland. They started saving really late. So I don't know if they're going to make it, but the cars like the 6, like the 18, that's Delaney, that's Velasquez Jr., I think they are almost guaranteed to make it to the end of this thing. But I can't say again for sure. They've been saving the most, and they might make it.
It's a good fuel saving going down right now, and some drivers still locked in a fight. I feel like I was just talking about this a few moments ago. The 63 of Hicksonball and the 71 of Hunter Truex side by side in this fight for third. Hicksonball looking to try and do something right now. I feel like tonight at the moment is just a night of damage limitation, as earlier on, Benefield was on the higher standing. However, Benefield has dropped back and may have just gotten himself in a little incident. Here it is, heading down the start-finish straightaway, has a 73 of Joseph McWhorter directly behind, and the old sparring partners squabble up again.
Yeah, just like netcode. It wasn't much. I think he was trying to explain that. I don't know. It was like, yeah, it was accidental, 100% not meant to be on purpose there. Netcode, I think, is really what that was.
And still Code Brown moment either way. Side by side for the race lead. Here we go. The 5 of Reiner and the 88 of Wiles. The 2 drivers I talked about a bit earlier on here in this race as being some of those contenders that could very well break through to get their first win of this season here tonight. Those 2 drivers going side by side as pit stops farther behind. That's Brendan Hastings down pit lane.
He knows he can't make it. He's got to try something else. This is going to be his best bet. Come down pit road, get 4 fresh Goodyear tires, put them on a car, and drive the best 30 laps of your life. That's going to be his strategy. 63's hitting the wall up ahead of this as well. This ain't over, guys. And the thing is, I think some of these guys up front have got to realize they got to make a choice. Hope for the caution, pit now and try to run like hell like Hastings is, or try something else. Hastings came out after just a top off. It was not even that many tires. I think he only got right sides. He's on the apron of the racetrack now. Getting passed by the leaders. He is now 1 lap down. With just a 2-tire stop. 5 seconds in the pit road, you get lapped.
See, here's what I was thinking for that earlier stop when I saw those drivers come down pit lane with 66 laps left. You may as well just try and split it down the middle. Short fuel a bit, have a shorter stop, get track position, run like hell in this stint, and then come down pit lane anyways. Lots of these drivers that are trying to make it on fuel, there's no guarantee that they can. Now, granted, there's also no guarantee that that strategy I just gave would have worked, but right now I think we're going to see some drivers just say, you know what, this fuel saving stuff, not a fan of it. There was a series that I covered for quite some time, 40-minute long sports car races between Spec Racer 4s, also some FF 1600 racing as well. And some of the drivers would never like to do fuel saving. They would rather just go for all that glory and try and run as fast as they can. It all comes down to driver preference at the end of the day. I think some of these drivers preferring to do that fuel saving, try and cut that final stop at, not having to worry about it. But other drivers don't have to worry about the fuel saving, just saying, okay, look, I've resigned myself to having to come down pit lane. I am not going to try and slow down to make sure I can hit a target with no promise that that target will actually be hit.
I tell you what, though, the one thing I want to mention is I better not see anybody in this group out here make any contact that looks somewhat iffy. These guys got to stay clean to each other. They are only 9 cars out here, 8 now since 81 came down pit road. They cannot be racing like it's the last lap the entire time. If that happens, then it might draw the whole thing into question. So just keep the cars. Just hoping to keep the cars in a single position, driving clean. That's going to be the goal here for this top group. But everybody else behind, I mean, look at these gaps. You can see there's a lot of different people on different strats. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you who's going to win this race. I can't even tell you who's leading in terms of the strat because people split it down the middle. It's going to be close, so close, and we won't even know until 10 to go, 5 to go, maybe even until the last lap. We won't really know who's going to be in position.
You know, off the back of what you said a few moments ago, Howie, I'm going to say this, and this is honest. So far this week, I've already had 2 crashes, one that was for certain an intentional wreck, and another that looked pretty darn close to it. So I'm hoping that we don't have any shenanigans going on here tonight. It's been very smooth. These drivers have been smooth throughout this season. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. If I have a 3rd intentional wreck of the week, I'm taking next week off.
All right. Well, Wineland had an issue here on your screen. Take a look at the 21 machine. He's been trying to save some gas too. Right there, had a lift big time, and now the 77 caught up to him. Wasn't that much of a deal there, just got a little loose. No biggie deal. Okay. Man, I'm getting antsy. I love it. Feels like a real, a horse race when you go to a carnival. You can roll the balls up in there on a little conveyor, get them in the right hole, and your horse moves that much more. I think the drivers are doing that with their cars right now, trying to get to the end of the finish line first without running out of gas, without getting too tired. I don't know. I mean, this is getting good. Reiner's leading this thing. Higginball P2. These guys are pushing hard. Reiner would love to get a win. 88's starting to slow down a little bit. He's dropped back behind Matthew Blackley, who's running for the top 5 for the first time in his career in the Friday Night Lights series. First time in the top 5 for Blackley. Having a good run. I mean, but the thing is, he's going to need to pit. I mean, he's up towards the front, yes. But will it work out? We have no idea. Man, I really think the best car in terms of speed and save ability on the most save side has to be Delaney. He's running P21 right now, and he's about 12 seconds behind the leader. And we saw what a 5-second pit stop looks like. You get lapped. You're not going to gain that back by coming down pit road early. You're not going to be able to do it. It's just not, it's not a possibility. These guys that are staying out are begging for a caution. They would love one. Absolutely. But if they don't get it, they're in a very bad position. And they only have, give or take, about another 10 to 15 laps left. Blackley's on pit road.
You know, as the time is rolling on, Kirk, the idea that I had of just going for glory here in this stint, it's feeling more fitting because we've had a few drivers already break away saying, okay, there's no hope in hell that I'm able to make it through to the end of this race. So I'm liking the idea that I had some 42 laps to go of just going for glory here. All gas, no brakes, shake and bake, do it for Dale, and not have to worry about the fuel saving. It's that again, that's still my theory, and I'm still sticking to it. We'll have to see whether it ages like milk.
Yeah, I'll be honest. We're on the other sides of the fence each other here. We're gonna see how it goes. I would have saved from the very restart. I'd have been like, nope, I am gonna make it to the end. The worst embarrassment you could ever have is leading a race with 5 to go, then having to go down pit road because you ran out of gas. I mean, that is the worst feeling.
That's the issue that some of them have. That's the issue that some of them have had. Like we did see. Take the 6, for instance, of Jonathan Delaney, saved almost immediately there once we grabbed the restart. Other drivers, though, they only realized about 20 laps in that, oh, I need to do some fuel saving. At that point, you may as well fully commit. You know, it's like going halfway down the intersection only to say, you know what, I'm not actually going to do it and just try and turn around while somebody else is trying to go through.
Very unfortunate for Blackley. He got a pit road speeding penalty, had to hold for a longer period of time. He's now off the pit road. A decent finish turned into a really rough one here this afternoon. The 83 of Benefiel, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. He's still super saving. Actually, I'm looking at his thing. He's not saving as hard as he was earlier. I think that they are just hoping for a caution. I don't know. If they hit their number, I would be surprised. 17 laps ago, we have 45 laps on the stint. In terms of what we were told, the cars can make it on a single stint. That was 56 laps going all out. Now, for the last 46 laps, some of these guys have been saving. And some of these guys have only been partially saving. Reiner, Dyson, and Hixenball have been going all out. They are not going to be able to make it to the end of this race. They are begging for a caution right now. They need one. Absolutely need one. Whether or not they get it is a matter of time to find out. And the thing is, if you are in their position, the best thing you can do is stay out until you run out. That is the only thing you can do. That's the only way your strategy works. You have to stay out until you run out.
It's that commitment level. It's again talking about the commitment level. You may as well, if you're trying to do the fuel saving and you want to try and stay out there, the best thing you could do for yourself is come down pit lane until that engine is running on fumes, and then come down pit lane a few laps later.
Hold on a second. Take a look at that pylon real quick. Velasquez Jr. running P9 right now. 46 laps on his tires. He topped off fuel when he came down pit road that last time. He has a lap extra fuel than everybody else. Keep that in mind for the end of this race. That 18 might be in a position, if we stay green, to win the race. He might be. Depends on if he saved enough in the tank. And he's been saving early with the 6 car, but he's kept the speed up. That's the difference.
Yeah, I talked about a bit earlier on here in this broadcast about how Charles Velasquez Jr. was able to capture a win at the Fall Kansas race in 2025. Got to keep an eye on him. I think he's going to be a strong contender in the pace department. His return to this series after being absent for quite some time, really putting in a good performance here as some of the drivers inside of the top 10 and inside the top 5 deal with some lap traffic. Daniel Wiles still leading the small little gaggle of cars that has definitely lost out on some time to the racers farther up the road. I think Wiles, through this later end of this stint, has definitely dropped down.
Nearly contact between Velasquez and Seth Foudy, side by side a little bit further back. They kept it going straight. The 18's not handling as well as the other cars around him, and the 18 is going to have to slow up a little bit. He's trying to save every ounce he can. So is everyone in this field. You got about 6 laps before we get to the point where we might see some cars pit or start running out of gas. And that's 12 laps to go. Now 11. Can they save enough? Reiner and Dyson and Hixenball need a caution.
And will they get one? That is the question. As these pit stops continue, these drivers get more and more nervous, and they find themselves in a couple more battles than they did before. This is when that chance of yellow does come up. So for those drivers up towards the front, praying and hoping for a caution, you can't say that their theory is entirely off the mark here. Now, so having to wait on that yellow, it's definitely like, it's sort of like the stock market in a way. You're hoping that what you put your money in is actually going to rise and hoping that it doesn't fall. But if these drivers keep going 3 wide like this, something's going to break eventually, and those top 3 drivers going to smell like a bed of roses.
Hang on now. 10 laps to go. Oh, man, I'm getting antsy. I don't know who's going to be. Oh, I mean, I want to see this chaos keep it going. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Reiner still leading this thing. They had about maybe 3 more laps before they could be running out. There's a good shot of it. 9 laps to go. See that giant gap? That's from 3rd down to 4th. Wiles leading that 4th place spot. I have no idea who's going to save enough, who's going to run them out. 9 more to go. Coming to get 8 now. Here we go. No mistakes. Keeping it green so far. See McWhorter now trying to get to the inside of Aiden Amaro. Their teammates that were teammates, not anymore. Side by side there. Amaro, after getting released from the team. Oh, 18's coming up. 18's coming to give him a little shot there. Velasquez gets into the 73 slightly. Now they're going to be 3 wide into the turn 1. They got to be very careful. Nope, they back out. 77 Foudy made a good decision and backed out. Okay, 7 to go. Here we go. Right around here, Llewellyn coming down. He was multiple laps down. He had to pit anyway, so that's not a big deal. Who else? We're coming to get the money lap right here where people's, if they were running full out the entire time, they will start running out right around here.
Yeah, so who's going to be the first to fall short at the hurdles? These drivers not exactly fully backed off. Now, I'm not saying they're going at full race speed either, but they're not Peter-pattering around this racetrack going about 2 miles an hour. So, gotta wonder who's going to be the first to come down pit lane. Already saw those drivers come into the pit. Llewellyn, now Tim Phillips, latest racer to break away. Will one of these drivers come down pit lane this lap? Survey says that they will not. So really feeling good about their chances. 6 laps now, 5 laps left to go.
All right. Reiner driving the race of his life. He'd love to be able to win this thing. I don't know if he has enough gas in that tank or not. We're going to have to find out in the next handful of laps. 5 more to go. Reiner's got this lead. Dyson running P2, but both cars have been on the gas the entire time. Do they have enough in the tank? That would be so surprising if they do. I'll be honest. I did not see that happening. 32, 10 cars, Boston Wheeler on pit road. 32, Aiden Amaro on pit road. They can't make it. Top 2, separated just by 1 car length. With just coming to get 3 laps to go. Will they come down pit road this time? No, they stay out. Reiner and Dyson side by side trying to go for the lead. Dyson's loose sideways. 5 sideways. Here comes Dyson to the bottom. For the lead side by side here at Chicagoland. To the inside, Andrew Dyson. Coming to get 2 more laps to go. Do they have enough in the tank? This is amazing if they got this. Oh, 5's loose. Coming to get 2 more laps to go. Dyson takes the lead away.
At this point now, you've got to go for glory. These drivers deciding, nope, we're not worrying about a pit stop. If we run out, we run out. Dyson now about 1.5 laps away from trying to get yet another win this season. Reiner's still looking for his first. They're still close down the backstretch.
Oh my gosh, if they make it on gas, this will be the most stunning story I think I've seen all year long. Coming out of turn number 4, white flags in the air, one more lap to go, and Andrew Dyson's staying on the racetrack. Do they have enough? 5 really wants it bad. He has yet to win this season. 5 goes up to the outside line, trying to carry the momentum on the top. Out of turn number 2. 5's loose, almost into the wall. So is the 41. They're sliding. One more chance for Reiner. What is he going to do? Tries the outside, tries to carry the slingshot. 5's going to be there. He's trying. Not enough. I don't see it. 41 is going to hold him off, and somehow, some way, Andrew Dyson saves enough gas and wins at Chicagoland.
Oh, as a 5 of Bryce Reiner darn near wrecked his car coming across the line. Gave it everything right towards the end, but Andrew Dyson, through thick and thin, somehow captures a race win here. That car looked to be absolutely nowhere in the pace department throughout the night, but he peaked at the right time, pulled off the good strategy call, and he somehow walks away with the win. Bravo to Dyson, but where did that come from?
I mean, that was miraculous saving. Everybody else was crazy hard saving. The 41, the 5, they were so close. I mean, does he have enough fuel for a burnout? I have no idea. He might be out of gas. That's amazing. He was able to save enough fuel to get down to the end of this race and take the win away. Honestly, the gas that they needed to save was a lot that it did not seem possible with the pace they were showing, which is phenomenal driving. And it looks like he doesn't have enough gas for a burnout. Nope, he does not have he's out of gas.
Well, as much as he may not have enough gas to celebrate the win, at least he had enough gas to get the win.
Take a look at your top 10 finishers on your screen. Andrew Dyson, Reiner, Hicksonball, Kluot top 4. Daniel Wiles top 5. Adam Benefield will finish in 6th. McWhorter will be in 7th. 8th, Charles Velasquez Jr. Seth Foudy will round out in 9th. And Hunter Truel will take 10th.
And looking outside of your top 10, Cliff Boland's going to finish this race in 11th in front of Jesse Winslow in 12th. Jonathan Delaney put on a good fight back there, but 13th for him at the very end. Definitely a bit of a sour taste in his mouth after what could have been a race win. Eric Wineland in P14, Casey Graves in 15th, Bill Hull in P16, Jared Grodzicki in P17, Mason Lowry in 18th, with Michael Deitch and Brendan Hastings completing your top 20.
The rest of the cars on your field, you can see on your screen there. Everybody else on the screen has finished a lap down. Marty, Amaro, Wheeler, Phillips, Mesnard, Owens, Blackley, Llewellyn, Eaton, and Woods, your top 30. 31st is going to be, once it cycles through, there we go, Simpson, Napier, Hoytsma, and Hunsinger, Lindsay, and Bird, your final finishers here this afternoon. Let's go ahead and bring in that 41 machine. Why the heck not? I mean, Andrew Dyson, absolutely dominant performance. Might as well go ahead and bring him up here. Andrew Dyson, how on God's green earth did you save enough gas to win that race?
Oh, man. Geez, I've got to think back. I'm pretty excited about the finish. So, how did I save the fuel? So, at the start, we were talking about it. We thought it might have been possible. And then we got like 5 laps in, and I'm like, no, this is not doable, boys. Like, you guys are cookers. And I kept saying, like, no, I'm not going to make it because this, that, the other. And I think at least I wouldn't shut up about it for like, I don't know, maybe another 6, 7 laps or so. And I got behind like 3 cars at one point there. I think Daniel Wiles came through. And I'm like, I'll just save just to see what happens. And I got under the number that I would need to save. And I'm like, oh, really? So I did it a couple more laps just to see what would happen, to see if I could keep it up. And the number stayed good. So I kept at it. My number got better and better as the race went on. And then at the end there, I think I had some good tyre, a bit of drive to help. Certainly probably helped me save a little bit more fuel with Bryce being in the lead there. So that might have worked in my favour a little bit, but I don't really know, man. I mean, I'm just happy to come out and win the race. So thanks to all the TCSB guys. Thanks to Bryson. He was given the intel as far as the fuel saving goes, and he had it really worked out right from the start. So that's how he made it to the end. So, but feel bad for Adam, man, because he had this race won. Like he was smashing everybody, and I even just said like that feels like a robbery. But I also just said I can only win field races in this league, so it seems, and the tradition continues.
It's honestly amazing you were able to save that much gas. I was for sure all three of your guys were going to run out. It was stunning to see y'all make it to the finish. It was amazing. But I got to ask you, Dyson, before we let you go, I mean, this was your first ever start in this car at this track. What do you think about this track now that you got a chance to win here?
Oh, it's bumpy, man. It brought back some things as we were running around. I remember in a truck race I did like a real long time ago that you could run the top. And you couldn't quite do it here, but you could use like maybe a lane down, 2 lanes down from the top, and it was pretty good. So a few things came back to me. I think the track's interesting. It's certainly unique with that curved backstretch. Pretty bumpy in a few spots, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of the same as every other 1.5-mile track. I mean,
yep,
just slightly different, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Well, anyway, man, congratulations on the win. You did one hell of a job, and thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you, boys. Can I say a big shout to all the TCSP boys and Nick Ottinger. He built a bit of a hot rod this week, and I wasn't making the most out of it, but in the end, we at least got a dub anyway. And I think a 1, 2, 3 for the TCSP machine. So great work, boys. And thanks to you guys for putting the little TV show on for us to go around and you guys to talk about it. So cheers.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And we'll see you here next week.
All right. Cheers, boys. See ya.
All right, see ya. All right, that was our first place finisher. Now we're going to bring in P2, Bryce Reiner. He's going to be with Rod.
Yeah, and Bryce Reiner joining us here in the broadcast booth. Bryce, welcome in. It's second place for you at the end of a fuel mileage finish here at Chicagoland. How was it out there?
It was grueling. Yeah, I was fighting to the death with Dyson. But no, overall, pace was really good. Stage 1. Especially after that restart with about, 8 to 10 to go. Me and Danny were really, really strong there, and everybody decided, hey, let's run the top. And, I go for the clean air. Danny went for the clean air. We passed pretty much a couple cars there to finish inside the top 10 there after stage 1. So that was pretty cool, just to rip the bottom and just pass them. The car came to life after about 30-ish, 35 laps. The bottom came back in, especially in 3 and 4. I was fighting a loose car in 3 and 4 until that switch kind of happened to where it came back to me where I could just get back to full throttle pretty quickly to avoid getting too free off exit. And then stage 2 was the same way. I just tried to manage the gap, manage my tires, and be there for the stage end, which we did as well. So that was pretty cool. And then stage 3, I mean, I don't know what else I could have done. I did a heck of a job, honestly. If it wasn't Dyson up there, I probably would win. I was saving just a little bit extra, just so when he did get to me, I could battle him, which I put up a fight. He kind of mirror drove me there in the last corner. So it's unfortunate, but hey, P2 from starting 30th, it's honestly pretty good.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. You cutting your way through the field like a hot knife through butter is an incredible drive from the drop of the green through to the end for you. I do want to ask you, as we get towards the end of the regular season, find yourself right now 8th in the points, good buffer back down there to 12th. As we head through the final few weeks before we head off into the chase, what's the mindset as we get along?
Honestly, just be consistent. Danny and I keep talking about it. It's just stay consistent. I mean, we all want that win. We all, Dyson, Hixenbaugh, Adam, McWhorter, they all have multiple wins on the season. And it's frustrating for me and Danny at the same time to be put in a place to where we can win. And then it's either tossed out the window from a caution or anything like that, or fuel strategy for that matter. So we just got to stay consistent. Danny's sitting really good in points. I'm sitting really good in points. There's a couple races here and there that I will miss But I think my points cap is pretty good. I don't have to worry about the in-season tournament, so that's one thing out of the way, and I could just go race my race and do what I always do, and just be there when it counts.
You just have a good run through to the end of the regular season. But I do want to ask you about the next round of the championship here, Bryce. In 1 week's time, we are heading to Atlanta. You going to be out there on the racetrack for that? And if so, what are your thoughts heading there?
Is that next week, you said?
That is next week, I believe. Yeah, that is
I will,
July the 10th.
I will miss that one. I've got my endurance race coming up with my team over there at Spa, so that'll be pretty interesting. And I got a couple other ones on Friday nights that I usually do, so I will miss next week, and I'll be here on and off, but I sure will be here for the full time, except for those couple races that I will miss.
I wish you good luck there at Spa. Do you mind me asking real quick, what car are you going to be running there?
Can I tell you the truth?
Go for it.
Absolutely no idea.
Fair enough.
I've still got a test. I have about 10 things that I've been asked to do. So I'll have a busy week doing all the testing there.
Alrighty, there we go. Trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. But either way, Bryce, thank you for joining us here in the booth. And before we let you go, we'll let you give any thank yous or shout outs.
Yeah, Ron. Thanks. Thanks again. Honestly, just shout out to the competition tonight. Honestly, some really good racing, especially there in the midst of stage 1 or stage 2. I can't remember. But it was with everybody. I mean, Danny, Hicksonbaugh, McWhorter, everybody in that little pack there. Delaney as well. I mean, that was a heck of a battle, and I kind of picked my way through pretty quickly, and was wanting to aim down at him, but he just had the same pace as I did. But honestly, congrats to Dyson there. He did a heck of a job. I know he's pretty good with the fuel saving and keeping tires on it. So congrats to him. Hicksonbaugh for P3. Everybody else in the field, you guys up in the booth, Kirk, Howie, Ron, you guys doing an awesome job. Up in the booth, Maconi Entertainment, all the admins, Bryson, Bobby, everybody who's a part of that squad over there to run this league the way it is. Next, EMR Event Park, Martin PC, Track Bar Media, Velocity, Team Contest and Performance at last with the ripper of a set tonight. And yeah, we'll go on to not next week, but the following week we'll be there ready to race.
Yeah, and certainly looking forward to that. Bryce, thank you for joining us here in the booth, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time when the series rocks up to Indianapolis.
Alrighty, should be a good one. Thanks, fellas.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you very much. That right there was Bryce Reiner, our P2 finisher. Kirk, I'll pass the mic back off to you.
All right, Bryson Hicksonbaugh getting P3. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Good God, you guys. All three of y'all stumped us pretty dang good up there. Honestly, thought in 55 laps on the things what I heard from you. And then you go out there and save all the way up to 61. That was awesome. Congrats on the P3. How on earth do you guys do that?
Hey, I want to say that Hastings told you 55. I told you 60. I knew I could make it. Hastings didn't believe it. He didn't want to save it.
Okay.
I knew I was going to make it. I wasn't sure it was going to be faster than pitting with how much we needed to save, but I knew I could make it. This race was such a workout, this whole race. The fights we had for P3, P4, P5 on back to like 8th for the entirety of stage 1, entirety of stage 2, we could not get away from each other. And then to turn that into doing that while having a fuel mileage race at the end was a lot to get through tonight.
I mean, I got to say, it looked like you guys were having fun out there.
Oh yeah, we were having fun. I was getting a little bit frustrated that every time I passed somebody, I'd try and make a pass and then lose 3 more spots, and it was so tough to clear somebody on the bottom for much of this race. I was glad at the beginning of stage 3 to get out front and just kind of follow Adam, see what he was doing better than me, and I would have been fine finishing second right behind him, even though he would have gained on me in the points much more than he ended up doing this race. But I feel bad for Adam that he didn't end up getting the win. He had such a dominant car. He was ridiculously fast here.
He won both of the stages. The guy was absolutely the dominant car of the day. Unfortunately, won't have the finishing position to show it. But got to ask you here, Bryson. Next week we're running in Atlanta. Heard the news. We're going to 110 horsepower. Is that confirmed?
Yes, that is confirmed. The reason we're doing that is that it'll be more realistic to how iRacing or how Atlanta is in real life. You know, Atlanta, it's kind of worn out in real life, but they haven't updated that to the same way in iRacing. It's still that super smooth surface with tons of grip on iRacing. So in order to kind of improve the racing, make it more realistic to how it races in real life, we'll be having 110% horsepower next week, a little bit more speed, having to lift, some more tire wear, stuff like that should come into play next week.
All right. Well, that's going to be a fun storyline to watch next week when all the tires start shredding off. I'm really excited for that. Anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, got to shout out everybody at TCSP again. Great setup. Even with the fuel mileage shaking up a little bit, we still managed top 6, I believe, all TCSP. Shout out to Andrew Dyson for how he saves fuel and tires at the same time. When he passed me, I wasn't needing to save fuel anymore. He just drove right past me while clutching. I could not do it. My tires were dead at the end of that race, and he just saving fuel, driving right around me.
Well, it was definitely fun to watch, Bryson, and congratulations on the top 3 in the podium. And sorry that every time you try to make a pass, you got passed by 3 guys. It's so like the way you described it, right? It just 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I hate to see it, but congrats on the top 3.
Yep. I'm glad to be talking to you guys again for top 3 anyways, and we'll see you guys the next one.
Oh, yeah, we'll see you at Atlanta. All right. Echo Park, fine. I'll say it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get our final thoughts here from Ron. Ron, what'd you think about that Chaos Field race?
I gotta say, towards the end, it got very, very stressful, but a pretty fun night here at Chicagoland. Looking forward to next time out, though, at Atlanta. Extra bump in the horsepower, and we always know that Atlanta is quite hectic. The one good super speedway left in the world of NASCAR.
Well, I'm a Talladega fan, so I doubt you. But here's the deal. You're watching Maconi Entertainment. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Howie Burrows was our producer this afternoon. I'm Kirk Mills alongside Ron Mons. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at Atlanta Echo Park, whatever they want to call it. That racetrack's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.